That was not my finest moment. Okay, I never can remember what I'm supposed to do here. Is this just my name up here?
No, Garzan de Ocampo at 8 Alhambra
I
ESG.
just did that and it didn't work. Okay, this isn't a touch screen. I forget that all the time. Oh no, I can do it. Just take me a while. It's not my email address. Well, see, that's what I thought. But then I just put in my name, and I thought that's what it was supposed to be, and it wasn't my name. So what am I supposed to put in there? It's not my, well, I was working at putting in my email address. I can ask you after the meeting. Oh, okay. I can never get this to work. No, now I gotta get to the board docs. Oh, and now it just came up. No, wait a minute, because it's gonna say that it wants me to do a. Probably do. I think I just need to have a paper pen. And I don't want a demonstration.
So, I actually like this perspective more than over there.
No, because I don't want to request a demo.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we just sign in. All right.
How was it?
Wonderful.
Was it,
Yeah.
did they eat all the fruit?
I told them to take it.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
But I left it because they were
Do you have an
March 6th. Ooh,
yes.
there we go.
Yeah, so they felt comfortable, like they still know how the parents.
No, I want to do this.
Based on the
No, I just want to go to the agenda.
So there was about,
No, that's showing them electronically.
she was there early. Yeah,
Do you have an extra laptop charger?
that's good.
Okay, no worries.
It'll be about 10.
I don't know. No, because then it's, oh, okay, I was wrong.
Thank you, Dave.
Before that, put you in electronically, and I didn't, this'll work.
How much charge do you have? Can I use your laptop charger? Looks like you're full.
This thing?
Thank you.
Jeez, please, we'll get all of these. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
All right, I think we're good.
We got the monitors. Yay.
All right, we might be ready. At least speaking for myself.
I'm
I went
I'm
from no
ready.
internet to where it's up and running.
A, meeting opening. A1, call to order. A2, pledge of allegiance. Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we will observe a moment of silence. Okay. A3, adoption of the agenda. Are there any consent agenda items that a board member would like to discuss as an action item?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I would like to adopt the meeting agenda and table G1. That is my motion.
So just to clarify, I think we're doing the consent agenda, but you're saying, the adoption of the whole agenda. Okay. And Ms. De Ocampo, did you have a comment or a motion to agree?
I seconded it.
Okay. We have a motion to accept the meeting agenda with tabling G1. Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Contras.
the reason why I am asking that we table G1 is to give not only ourselves as board members, but also the community the opportunity to engage in this process. It is my mistake that I thought that this would be a board policy where we would have a first and second reading, but of course it's a resolution. So that is the reasoning why I'm asking the board to table G1. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments and discussion? And then if we can specify the time frame for the tabling?
To the next meeting.
Okay, it's for the next meeting. And that's March, don't have that in my head. March 27th.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passed. The agenda is adopted, and we'll be tabling G1 for March 27th. Moving to B, presentation. B1, technology update. Mr. Kent, Director of Technology, will provide an update on the classroom AV refresh.
Good evening, President Navarro, Superintendent Dr. Mayos, Alhambra Governing Board, and Alhambra Familia. I'm very happy to share just some highlights from our process thus far of purchasing about 200 of these boards. Right now, we're in an application period. We were initially looking at 600, but we're taking a phased approach. So we did an initial purchase of 200. Teachers did submit applications where they answered questions like, how would we assess the impact of this technology? Are they an early adopter, somebody who people go to for questions or answers to the technology, somebody who's able to kind of troubleshoot as they go? And we're very excited to be rolling these out into our classrooms in mid-May or mid-April, early May. So just what we talked about before, same package was what we were looking at. So the board itself, the stand, a wireless document camera, as well as a wireless mouse and keyboard. We know that these are tools in a teacher's toolbox. The most critical element in a classroom is that classroom teacher, and this is just something to support them because we don't want the technology to be hindering what the great learning and teaching that teachers are doing in a classroom. So this is just a resource that they have at their disposal. We've taken a team approach to not only the assembly of these things, so shout out to the facilities team, Matt Shields, and his team who comes with technology in order to get the stands assembled, but we've actually engaged a variety of groups, one of them being our AAA students. And so I had the opportunity to present to them and hear their questions and their thoughts and their excitement. They asked great questions about how the technology works. There were a lot of surprised faces, which was very fun to see. Many of them being 8th graders were very excited for their younger siblings to be able to benefit from this technology when it's in the classrooms. We also worked with our ESS team. Specifically, they wanted to see how this could function within a classroom, knowing that we have a variety of needs within our specialized programs. So great thing about the board is that it is on that height adjustable stand. So if we have some mobility needs in our classrooms, we can bring it down fairly low so that students can have access to the boards. Also, it is mobile, so if we're in an instance where we need to move the board out for student safety because something happening in a classroom, the board can move and we can support that child within the classroom. We also hosted a virtual roadshow Q&A with our teachers, and so this is just an opportunity to talk through some of the features, get their questions asked and answered, so that as they complete the applications, they know exactly what they're applying for. Our application closes this Friday for our teachers. We will let them know if they were selected for a classroom AV package by the 28th. And then for our non-tested classrooms, so for our primary classrooms and those who are not taking AZ-SCI or the ASA assessment, they'll start getting their boards earlier. But for our classrooms that have testing going on, we did not want to interrupt anything or have any, changing out the field in the middle of the Super Bowl game. So they're going to start getting their technology once that window closes, which is April 26th. Just some comments that came from the applications. A lot of positivity around the collaborative nature of what this board allows teachers to do, the opportunity for real-time feedback, lots of student engagement, closing the interval between stimulus and response. So when a student submits something, being able to have real-time feedback, dashboards that teachers are able to see so that they're able to act on that data. Lots of conversation with the AAA group that as a teacher, when I'm able to take snapshots along the way multiple times during the lesson, I can steer us on that course versus waiting, till the end of the lesson or the end of the week, which is just not good instruction. Somebody saying that would be a game changer. So lots of positivity, lots of excitement within our teachers. Once they are approved for their application, the next step is training, because we want to make sure that they're fully equipped with utilizing this technology so that it enhances instruction. There's going to be some online training that they're able to take. This is something that the entire tech team has already gone through so that we're able to learn alongside them and be able to troubleshoot with them. And then moving into beyond just the board, but the software suite that comes with it that allows students to interact with the learning and teachers, again, to be able to take that real-time snapshot along the way. So just some interesting features to call out here. It's a computer itself, so during this entire presentation, I'm not tethering my device to this or anything. If I have a resource that I wanted to interact with for students, students could come up, multiple kids at the same time could be writing on here, doing different things in order to interact. Easy to erase, correct my mistakes. If I had other resources that I wanted to share at the same time, I can very easily reference a resource. So if I'm doing that activity and I wanted to look at what is a rotation, reflection, and tessellation, I can easily have that for students to reference and teach them the important skill of looking back at our resources in order to make responses. So this being a translation. Being able to save these resources into files so that if students are absent, the learning doesn't stop. They'd be able to have access to all the same things that we covered in class. So lots of features that are in here, lots of things that we can grow into. Again, lots of excitement with their teachers. Again, this is just being a resource for them in their tool belt as they deliver best first instruction. So with that, happy to entertain any questions that you might have.
Mr. President, I love this. I was playing around with it with Principal Fight before the governing board meeting, and it's dynamic technology. We're easily impressed over here because when you erased it, we're like, ooh. My question is about budget and timeline. So you had mentioned we were doing a phased 200 boards. Can you or the superintendent or superintendent's office talk to me about whether we have already purchased all 600 or whether we've only purchased 200? And the reason I'm asking is because we know that there are budget constraints that are happening, especially this year. A lot of different factors that are unknown, a lot of outliers when it comes to our funding. And so that is my question. Have we purchased those 200? Have we purchased 600? And what is the timeline for that? Thank you.
So at this point, we've made a purchase of 200 with the goal of seeing how it's impacting instruction, teacher excitement, and then making plans, knowing all the things that go into our budgets to make this as a decision of what is the next phase is going to look like.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I don't have questions. I just have comments. I've, over the last year, been in numerous classrooms where this technology was being used. It is amazing. The student reaction to it, the interaction that goes not only between the teacher and the class, but amongst the students in the classroom, the resources that they have access to. I came from the area where you had film strips and you had to crank that thing around, and now, boom, you push a button and you've got a picture of some volcano erupting for the students to look at. It is absolutely incredible. But one of the things that I'm easily impressed. The fact that you have it on a stand and then it can move, that seems like such a crazy small little thing. But when they were hung on the walls, you had no way to change how your classroom was set up. Now you have so much more flexibility with this, and you can actually move it to another space if you have to. But the most impressive thing to me is it goes up and down. You know, if you've ever worked with 3-year-olds who only get to use this much of the board, it's so impressive that they can have access to the whole board, or at least major part of it. Thank you.
Mr. President? So you had said that there's an application process for the 200. Can you tell me how many applicants there were?
So just before this governing board meeting, we were at about 180 so far. Lots of conversation with principals of, hey, you know, tap those early adopters that may not have seen the application, because we want our best to be able to grab it first and then support the rest of the team that will get it later on.
Thank you.
And it's just a comment. You know, I appreciate you showing us this hands-on demonstration. It just speaks to, you know, just us trying to stay up to date with our technology, being in the 21st century, you know, technology, but really just being adaptable with all the new things that are coming, so that way our teachers and staff feel like they can do the great work, but with something that works well and is as quick and transportable as this is. So thank you for just sharing us this highlight here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to C, public comment. C1, public comment. No public comment. Moving to D, consent agenda. Approval of consent agenda items. Can I call for a motion that the governing board approve consent agenda items D2 through D9?
Mr. President, I'd like to move that the board approve consent agenda items D2 through D9.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Any discussion? Oh, no discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. And now we will have a few comments from Ms. Perry.
Thank you. President Navarez, governing board members, Superintendent Dr. Myers, and our Alhambra community. With the approval of the consent agenda, I would like to introduce our new incoming director of supplemental programs. As she walks to the podium, come on up, Libby. Libby Cohen. Libby joined our district in 2003. She served in the role of teacher, academic coach, outreach coordinator, and principal. So we're really excited to welcome Libby, and thank you. And here we have Libby Cohen.
Good evening, President Navarez, members of the governing board, and Dr. Maez. I want to begin by expressing my profound gratitude to the entire Alhambra community at large, my past and present colleagues, the amazing teachers, students, and families in the district, and the governing board for providing me the opportunity to serve Alhambra's students, families, and community in the role of supplemental programs director. I also want to take a moment and acknowledge and honor the tremendous work of Karen Schmaltz and her tremendous leadership and her dynamic team who work in supplemental programs and care so deeply about people. And they have immersed themselves at the site and district level in support. And I thank them for the foundation they have led, which offers such incredible optimistic potential. As a previous academic data and assessment coach, EL coach, AP principal, I was a teacher, and currently a director, I am deeply committed to ensuring that we support our sites, our teams, our teachers, our students, our families in implementing effectively supplemental programs and ensuring that we have them anchored in systems that are efficient, systems that are effective, and systems that support all of our stakeholders. Collaborating with stakeholders at all levels to ensure that these programs are yielding high levels of learning, supporting the mental, social, and emotional health of our students and their families is of utmost importance and is imperative. I am truly humbled, deeply honored, and thank you for the opportunity to serve in the role of Supplemental Programs Director. I'm so optimistic. Thank you.
Thank you. And moving to E, business. E1, AZ Purchasing Cooperative Agreement. Can I call for a motion that the governing board approve Arizona Purchasing Cooperative AZ Purchasing Agreement for Alhambra Elementary School District?
I move that we approve the AZ purchasing agreement, whatever else you said.
Cooperative.
Cooperative, that's what I was looking for. Thank you. Yes, I move that we approve that.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Santana. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion passed. Thank you. E2, change in grade configuration at Valencia Newcomer School. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the grade level configuration change at Valencia Newcomer School beginning July 1st, 2025.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move that the governing board approve the grade level configuration change at Valencia Newcomer School beginning July 1st, 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Any discussion?
I appreciate the thought that went into this. I myself did not think about the configuration at Valencia too much until I read this, and definitely research does support that the younger children do learn their language more efficiently and more rapidly when they're in a setting with peers that speak their native language as well as the language that they're learning. That's been proven over time. So I think this configuration will help our older students who come in and have, when you're 13 years old and trying to learn a new language, it's way more difficult than when you're 5 years old. And when you're 79 years old, forget it, it's really hard. So I think this is a really good change in the configuration of the grade structure at Valencia, and I think it will do wonders to support our students with our goal of getting them to be English language speakers, not just English language learners, but it will also give them the impetus they need and the foundation they need as they go back to their homeschool communities and can succeed in their classrooms with their peers. You know, we often think that we as the teacher are the ones that do all the teaching. And oftentimes I have seen that the person that the children learn the most from is their peer sometimes. Sometimes we have to swallow our pride and realize that the other students are doing as much as teaching as we are. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Do I have any other discussions? Hearing no discussion, other discussions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Moving to F, Human Resources, F1, Position and Title. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the revisions to the Executive Director of Student Success job description, effective immediately, and the Assistant Classroom Coverage job description, effective July 1st, 2025.
I move that we approve the job descriptions recommended by the Executive Director of, wait a minute, I'm on the phone. The Executive Director of Student Services, and that they will be effective beginning July 1st.
Can you restate that? I'm sorry.
Okay, am I on the right one? Board recommend, of the the revisions to the Executive Director of Student Services job description effective July 1st, 2025.
There's a little bit more to that, Ms. De Ocampo.
All right, I was reading the public content. I move that the board accepts the administration's recommendation that the governing board approve the revisions to the Executive Director of Student Services job descriptions effective immediately and the assistant classroom coverage job descriptions effective July 1st.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Do I have a second?
Boy,
I second.
Thank you, Ms. Santana. Any discussion?
A point of order, Mr. President. I'm not sure if it's just my computer, but does anybody else have an attachment to F1?
I do.
Yes, there are 4 attachments I'm seeing on my end.
Okay, thank you. It's just me. Thank you. No discussion.
Hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion pass. Moving to H, board policies. H1, temporary suspension of governing board policies BGB, policy adoption. Can I call for a motion that the governing board approve suspending policy BGB regarding the first and second readings for policy adoption? And I call for a motion. And I call for a motion.
Okay, I guess I'll do it. Hopefully I get it. Doesn't take me 3 tries this time. I move that the board accept the administration's recommendation to approve suspending policy BGB regarding the first and second reading for policy adoptions.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Do I have a second? I second it. Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Contras?
I am going to be voting no on this, and it's because I believe, especially in the past year, we have been doing a lot of first and second readings, and we have been suspending this policy a little bit too much, in my opinion. So that is why I am going to be voting no on this one in particular, and it's not because I don't agree with the following policies, which I will most likely support, but that is my stance. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Do I have any other discussion? Or any other comments? Okay. Let's see here. And then is roll call or just regular? Regular, right? Can I have a let's see. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
All right. Motion does not pass, and we will. Okay. So then, with this with it not passing, we will not be able to carry on the continued policies to be read today, because it's read as if it's only going to be read once. Is that correct? So we will have to do the first and second reading. Well, the first reading on March 27th, and then the second reading the following meeting after that. Is it all right to continue making a couple more comments? If we are informed as a board that we need to have a special meeting or maybe a meeting sooner just to get some of these things moving forward, that might be suggested. I think part of it is just keeping up with the language that we're being that's being demanded upon us, and so we're just trying. I think that's the intent. So I think just keep that in mind for everybody and their schedules. Moving to I, comments. I1, comments from governing board members.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Contras.
I was able to be on a panel of school board members, myself and Monica Pimentel from Glendale Elementary School District, and we were with the All In Education organization. And it was really great to be able to be there to share with them my experience as a board member, and also see in the room potential new community members who are going to be board members. Because, as I always say, this is the beginning of my second term. But I don't intend to be in this seat forever, because we need to make sure that we're building a bench and that we are training other folks in our community in order to take these seats. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Do you have any other comments?
Yes, Mr. President. First of all, I can never make this thing work, sorry. First of all, I would like to thank our social workers. I know this is National School Social Worker Week. So thank you all to all of our social workers. They play such an important role in our communities, not just with our students, but with families. And I want to congratulate them on the hard work they do and thank them for all the benefits they have provided for our students and our families over the time that they have been with us in Alhambra. And then I would like to thank James W. Rice for allowing me to come over and read to Do Delightful Classrooms. As some of you know, I always love to read and I love to tell stories. So it was definitely a pleasure to go to the school and be able to read two of my favorite stories to some wonderful students. And then today I went to see the angels in the field. I'm telling you, I thought we needed to tie some of those little ones down to some bricks because it was blowing out there. But the kids were having a fabulous time no matter what. I was impressed with the amount of work that went into setting up that activities. They had activities for large motor skills, for small motor skills, for big kids, for little kids. There was such a variety of activities going on, and all the kids, in spite of the wind, were enjoying themselves. The tug-of-war was absolutely fabulous to watch. The kids all decided every time to just sit down. They didn't quite get the idea. They just sat down. So yes, it was a great experience, and I appreciate being asked to be a part of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Do I have any other comments? All right, I'll just make a few. I also want to commend the awesome team effort from James W. Rice and also all throughout the district, because I saw on social media that everybody was really celebrating Read Across America. But I also was able to attend James W. Rice, and I was really impressed just the way I was greeted by a student member. She gave me a tour. She was asking me questions like, what's my favorite subject? What was the subject I overcame? And I was able to also ask them questions as well. So it was just really neat to have it all thought out in that way and just be able to experience that and read to the children. I managed to get through 5 classrooms, so that was really neat. One of the books I read was 100 Days of Cool, and so I think they saw right through me when I was trying to get them to attend school, but it's okay. And then the other comment was I was also able to attend ballet at CLA, and it was just wonderful. I guess I was not expecting the fullness that was there, and it was just really great for me to just see, but also for the community to see, and for especially the students to see. So I think those comments might be addressed, but I had a good experience. And then the last thing I just wanted to know was that I've been observing the shade and the solar panels, and so it looks like a lot of them have been, up, and I've been hearing a little bit details about how some of them are turned on now, and so I'm not sure how much of that is official or not official or testing and whatnot, but it's really cool to know that our community is putting that efforts forward, and the fact that some of the excess electricity could potentially maintain the grid and keep the grid stable. I think that's just going to be a value if down the road climate's just not what it wants to be. So that's just my comments, and thank you for everybody, and enjoy your spring break. Moving along to governing board direction and/or agenda item request. Are there any governing board members who have any direction or agenda items to request to administration? Hearing none. Moving to I3, comments from superintendent and executive team.
Good evening, everyone. This evening we'll start our comments with Mrs. Bilyeu.
Thank you. President Navarez, members of the board, and Dr. Myers, providing you an update based or resulting from Ms. Board Member De Ocampo's question last meeting regarding the affordable housing sale project update and the Madrid portable project update. So we continue to make strong progress in the affordable housing sale project and remain on track with the planned timeline. The key milestones include successful completion of a special proposed entity and document negotiations, and the school district and Phoenix IDA board have adopted their respective resolutions, with the City of Phoenix ordinance adoption remaining on schedule. And I believe they have moved past that because it was on the schedule for February 25th. The other thing we also have recently is a zoning. The zoning has gone through, and we are just awaiting one more piece with that. So looking ahead, we are waiting the draft of the MOU for the ground lease, and the finalization is expected soon. Substantial final form of necessary documents is nearly complete, and it's all very technical, but basically, bottom line, we're on track, and we should be seeing a sale soon. The Madrid portable update is moving forward also as planned and remains on schedule. The permit drawings have been submitted to the City of Phoenix, and the portables are currently under construction off-site. On-site earthwork is set to begin the beginning of May, keeping us on track, and we will be ready ahead of schedule for the 25-26 school year.
Thank you.
To our president, our superintendent, our entire governing board, and to the Alhambra family. I didn't get it to Alan in time, but I wanted, so I'm gonna hold up my computer, which is why I'm standing. Tonight, in the same spirit of reading and angels, I wanna just thank one of our community partners. Gabriel's Angels is an organization that comes out to our schools, and they bring support readers in the form of little pups that look adorable. Absolutely, they're adorable. And they come out and they read with our students, right? They come to Westwood every Tuesday, and Mr. Paul, who's there reading with the students, is supposed to read for 90 minutes. Sometimes he stays all afternoon. And the cool thing is, at the end of reading, you know how many times we give kids incentives like candy? The incentive at the end of reading, he walks down the row with food for the puppies. And the kids get to feed the puppies. So it's a reciprocal relationship that just brings joy to our community. And I want to thank our community partners tonight from Gabriel's Angels.
Very sweet. Good evening, President Navarez, governing board members, Dr. Myers, and our Alhambra community. In Alhambra, we believe that taking care of our employees means supporting both health and happiness. So with that in mind, I'm excited to share 2 upcoming opportunities for our employees to focus on their well-being. Our 6th annual wellness fair is going to be Wednesday, April 2nd at the Sevilla Multipurpose Room. We hope everyone stops by for some valuable resources, helpful information, and ways to support your overall wellness. Also on April 17th, our insurance open enrollment begins. It's our opportunity to review and select the best health insurance options and benefits for ourselves and our families. So remember, when we take care of ourselves, we're at our best to take care of others too. So just wanted to share those 2 well-being announcements.
Good evening, President Navarez, governing board members, and Superintendent Mayes. I want to share that we are in week 3 of having our safety and security officers on our campus, and I'm pleased to share it has gone very well, and we have positive feedback from our schools and our community members. Some feel-good stories. 2 of the SSOs that we've had are former Alhambra kids. One of the SSOs we've had, his mom is a cafeteria employee, so he was in the cafeteria meeting kids and talking to kids, and he says, well, I'm here to protect the students and my mom. Another one was so excited about meeting the students in the school because that neighborhood is his weekend beat, so he was excited to be able to say hi to the kids driving around as they're outside playing. And then Mr. Lunde had a great idea, excuse me. He introduced his SSO on announcements. And so the SSO was able to introduce himself and tell the kids why he was there. And the kids were just so excited to meet him. Now they have a new friend who's going to keep them safe. But one of our parent volunteer coordinators from a different school, her son goes to Gap. And so he went home and told mom all about the new friend and how he's going to keep him safe and just how excited he was for him to be on the campus. So far, we've had a variety of law enforcement from the U.S. Marshals to the Sheriff's Department, Phoenix PD. They all go through the onboarding process with Ms. Rivera, and you know, like I said before, we just have a lot of very positive comments, and they really seem to want to embody building positive relationships with our community. So, thank you.
Governing Board President Navarra, Superintendent Dr. Mayas, and Governing Board members and community, in honor of Read Across America Week, I would like to highlight Alhambra's participation in the Valley Readers Competition. The Valley Readers Competition is in partnership with the Phoenix Suns and Mercury Foundation, and it's designed to, quite simply, get students to read more. So during this competition, students and student mentors, so our older students, we don't have any puppies unfortunately, but we'll do that next year because that sounds amazing. They just simply read. And as of today, students in Alhambra have read over 2.1 million, yes, million, words so far in third quarter. The top school with the most average minutes read per student is Sevilla East with an average of 668 words, minutes. And Ms. Chernicki's third grade class at Sevilla East leads with 3,269 minutes of reading. Wow. Today, as part of our participation, the Phoenix Suns Gorilla visited students at Granada West. And not only did they get some swag from the Suns and Mercury, but they were read a story by the Suns and Mercury team as well. So we're proud of our school, our library team, our teachers, students, staff, district team to get students to read because this is the week where we want to encourage students to be lifelong readers.
Thank you for those updates. And mine include Ms. Lucero and I have had the opportunity to meet with a lot of our stakeholders, and as we meet with our support staff advisory monthly, and also I've just had the pleasure of meeting with the parent advisory, and I want to welcome Ms. Cynthia here, one of our parents who's joining us this evening. And some of the highlights from those meetings were, number one, our staff are very proud of our students and their effort that they've given in Azella testing. And so I want to celebrate everyone for the teamwork and just for motivating our kids and just the work that went into completing that. Another highlight that I want to celebrate is the culture that we're creating in Alhambra. A number of our staff commented on how again, we've been a family and it just feels like that more. One staff member said, that it doesn't matter what position or what title, no job is beneath another one. And she gave an example that if our maintenance is going out to lunch or on their lunch break, and she said, and a student puked, one of us in the office was, no, you go enjoy your lunch, we'll go take care of it. And so again, it was cute to hear the example, but they were just saying how they're all a team, and I love that we're building that culture. And another celebration was portfolios. I know we've been working hard with Leader in Me. Even our parents were sharing how they're using the Leader in Me language at home and how they've appreciated hearing that. But within Catalina was highlighted for the leadership portfolios, and a mom said the kids are taking ownership. My kids are now taking ownership of their learning. They've set goals. They're monitoring their own progress. And so, again, great work. And it was also highlighted that the attendance incentives are really motivating our kids. And so we're really excited about that. Ms. Gonzalez, I know you're working really hard with our attendance teams, so that's been a highlight. And communication, our support staff said that communication continues to improve each year and how much they appreciate that they feel in the know and they feel a greater sense of connection. And then the visibility of our leaders, Ms. Stevenson was highlighted. Ms. Olivia, who's the parent volunteer coordinator, said that how she's everywhere. And I know our parent that was representing CLA and Westwood this evening also commented on just what a strong leadership that we have there. And with our parents, I do want to highlight just how proud you should all be. I did hear a number of things that we know we strive for continuous improvement, and so things were noted that we'll continue to grow on. But what you should know is that there were a number of our parents that were emotional in the meeting that I had this evening. Just so grateful for our staff. I know one of our parents wants to nominate Ms. Baker, our counselor at the Cordova, for Counselor of the Year, it sounded like, just for all that she's done to support the students there. And like I said, so great things going on in our school district, and I'm so very grateful for each and every one of you and the contribution that you make to make our team dynamic. So thank you all, and may you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Dr. Maez. Moving to J, meeting closing. J1, next board meeting, which will be held March 27th here in the boardroom. Moving to J2, calendar events, you can see the spring break that's around the corner. And then in J3, adjournment. Do I have a governing board member who would like to make a motion to adjourn?
Mr. President, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. Santana. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Meeting adjourned.